Definitely seems like the closer you get to Hidden Valley, the more like clustered Joshua trees you get. And these look pretty healthy. When we started this trail, they were kind of spread out and some were dead, some didn't look too good. But as I'm looking straight ahead here, and you guys are looking a little bit behind me here, these trees look great, and there's a lot more of them.
Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, this week, there are 2 trail videos released. Make sure you check out both of them. And if you haven't, make sure you check out the full vlog of camping gear and tips, star shooting at Joshua Tree, a whole bunch more. I put out a part 1 and part 2, and then this week as well, I released just a full version. So if you want to sit down and watch it all at once, you can do so. Now, why am I covering this trail? This trail is not on all trails. It's not really on Google. There's not a lot going on here, and it is more of a nature walk than anything. But I need you to understand that if you know about Joshua Tree, you like national parks, you need to understand who Minerva Hoyt was and who she is. Her history will live on forever. So this video, I'm gonna give you very, very quick details. It's a 1.5 mile one way. As you saw in the vlog, I made that mistake, thinking it was a 1.5 mile total. So 1.5 mile one way, it ends up at Hidden Valley, which I will show you guys here. You can make it longer by going different directions. However, if you're on Hidden Valley Nature Trail and you want to hop on a trail, some of these are pretty beautiful. And as I mentioned in the vlog, close to Hidden Valley, there's a lot of really, really healthy looking Joshua trees. So if you're looking to do a shoot, or if you're looking at landscape photography at night, whatever it is, this seems like a pretty sweet spot. So I want to spend a little bit of time talking about Minerva Hoyt and why you should know about her. And I'm going to read straight from the National Parks, website. I'm going to read bits and pieces, but I really encourage you to do a little bit more research. And I'm going to link the podcast. There is a National Parks podcast that talks about her and what she did. And it is honestly, I'm not a big desert guy, but hearing what she did, it was amazing. I loved hearing about this. I loved reading about this. I showed up to this trail. I said, interesting, Minerva Hoyt, 1.5 miles. What is this? And then I saw the little signs they have at the trail in the beginning. And I read it and I was like, wow, how am I just finding out about this now? So let's jump into it here. So in fact, without her leadership, Joshua Tree National Park might never have become part of the national park system. How a transplanted southern belle born on a Mississippi plantation became a staunch backer of the protection of desert landscapes is perhaps one of the more unlikely stories in the annals. Is that right? Am I just that immature? Of national park history. Talks a little bit about her background. One of the things that I was listening to in the podcast right now is that she saw this sort of widespread destruction of the desert plants by people who dug them up and by the overall expansion in Los Angeles, and was concerned about that. So she started to really become, an advocate for desert plants and really, the area that's now known as Joshua Tree National Park. So at the very end here, in the time Hoyt became convinced that a national park was the best option for preserving large desert areas, she hired well-known biologists and desert ecologists to prepare reports on the virtues of Joshua Tree region. She was introduced to President Franklin Roosevelt, whose New Deal administration became active in the establishment of national parks and monuments as a jobs creation initiative, and she developed an ally and Secretary of the Interior, Harold Ikes. Minerva had a major success when President Roosevelt asked the National Park Service to prepare a recommendation on the site. Promised the inclusion of certain railroads, kind of removed a little bit of the land, and on August 10th, 1936, President Roosevelt signed a presidential proclamation establishing Joshua Tree National Monument. Minerva finally had her grand desert park. I think it's an amazing story, and I really wanted to make this video to talk about how this is a nature walk, but why you should learn more about who Minerva Hoyt was. She actually also played a big role in establishing the state park of Anza-Borrego Desert and Death Valley, so you really, really should check her out a little bit more. I'm going to play a little bit of the podcast here from the nationalparkspodcast.com. I'll link it in the description down below as well, and then we'll end the video.
This desert possessed me, and I constantly wished that I might find some way to preserve its natural beauty. She was awestruck by the beauty and the inventiveness of desert plants that developed unique ways to thrive in the harsh climate. But she also saw the thoughtless and widespread destruction of native desert plants by people who dug up, burned, and otherwise destroyed so many of the cacti and Joshua trees that she found so beautiful. She became alarmed by the rapid growth of the greater Los Angeles area as more and more people and automobiles began to roam the Mojave Desert to collect exotic desert plants.
I love how the inflection of her voice changes. It's very like slow and dramatic, and then when LA starts like, yeah, and then LA expanded. Those fucking assholes. Kidding. But check this out. Read more about Minerva Hoyt. I'm amazed. I'm amazed at what she did. So we'll end the video there. Thanks for stopping by and listening to me rant and hopefully educate you a little bit. I'll see you guys soon.